Right now, Congress is maybe putting together a stimulus package. Who knows if something will come out of it to help things out. Right now, we're 2 weeks into December, and we're still on carryout only. We're 56% down from where we were last year.
Well, I guess we're all waiting to see what happens on Friday, whether or not this shutdown, and I'll call it a shutdown because it is for restaurants, if it continues or not, or if it's going to be lifted.
Chris, we're back at it again. Another look at Clawson. You live there. I used to. We wanted to see how that small city is faring in the midst of the pandemic.
Yes, and in the midst of another shutdown that hit just as the holiday season was ramping up. Bottom line for the businesses we talked to, some doing okay, some doing not so good, and some surprising new opportunities that have popped up during the pandemic.
Christmas in Clawson, the trees, carolers, as festive as can be during a pandemic.
Yeah, how did it go for you there?
You know, it went all right. It was not as busy as it usually is. People came in and came out. No lingering, no coffee serving, no cookie eating, no hugging and kissing. But we had a decent Christmas. All things given, you know, we made it through the year and we're ready for another one.
We had a lot of people I'd never seen before that were like, I want to 100% support local, and not just us, but just all of their shopping. They were saying they were trying to do it with local businesses.
You know, Christmas is never our biggest season. I would say it was really at par for where we usually are.
Vicki Stoddard runs the Hips Resale boutique.
And we're really dedicating our time to building a better presence online. So a lot of our time is spent taking pictures. So here we are walking through the store.
Stoddard had to close her changing rooms.
It is almost showtime. I got my right-hand mans here. I got Jen.
Hello, ladies.
And there's Kelly.
Hi.
After the first shutdown, she started selling via weekly Facebook Live events beginning in May, a couple hours every Thursday at 7.
The bigger the better here.
And it's 20% off.
We've actually added another live on Mondays. So now we're doing 2 lives a week, and we're open in-store shopping twice a week.
When stores are open, shoppers stay 6 feet apart. Masking up hasn't been too big a problem for most people.
We had one lady who insisted that what she was doing was masked. And I said, well, not really. What, do you want me to throw up and faint? And I was so close to saying, kind of.
Leon and Lulu, like Hips, has found the solution online.
The bonus for us is this is the year that we finally got our e-commerce up and rolling. We found the right solutions, and something we'd tried to do twice in the past. We've had a pretty decent first run with a real website. You can now stay up midnight. You can be drinking a glass of wine, sitting in your nightgown, shopping online, just as nature intended.
Meanwhile, Clawson's Warp 9 Comics has found that focusing on in-store selling rather than online is their key to success.
We thought we were going to lose a lot of business to online, which at first, that's kind of the way it was going.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody could foresee the USPS kind of failing as much as they did.
Right.
So because of that, we saw a lot more in-store shopping than I thought we would. And we had a lot of people I'd never seen before that were like, I want to 100% support local, and not just us, but just all of their shopping. They were saying they were trying to do it with local businesses.
Dan Soffin said that Warp 9 did better this past December than they did the year before, with strong sales in trade paperbacks.
We were just hoping to hold our own, you know,
Right.
That was the goal, was just try to hold our own, you know, because we've already lost a ton of money this year.
The second shutdown was much harder at first to, I'd say, mentally and emotionally deal with. And it took me a good 2-3 weeks to kind of get into my groove.
As Zioli's modern Italian perfects its carryout menu, owner Scott Brown has boxed lunch orders to fill.
At this point, it's just about paying the bills.
The lunches for frontline medical workers paid for by a program that began last spring. Zioli's did well last summer after the first shutdown lifted. Then the COVID numbers rose. By fall, the ride was over.
Yeah, we had 50% capacity and the ability to seat outdoors, but we had no one coming in. You know, people were making that choice on their own.
Meanwhile, across the street, there's Puma Chug, a restaurant so new that they missed out on the first wave of state and federal assistance, having just opened their doors in the summer. But now they are featuring a greenhouse, courtesy of Oakland County, one way to allow people to sit down and eat outdoors.
The city plans to distribute more greenhouses soon, limited to parties of 6, presumably family members and very close acquaintances. To dine out in Metro Detroit, it's sitting outside or in greenhouses, igloos, or tents. Are those effective? Are those safe? Well, what's the general take on that?
I think the jury is still out on whether those are effective or safe. The state has some really kind of guidelines that I would say surprised restaurant owners when the most recent shutdown was announced in November.
The tents have to be open on 3 sides.
An enclosed tent is kind of like an indoor dining room in a lot of ways.
For Puma Chug, the greenhouse brings customers, but nowhere near enough.
I would say conservatively, we're losing $10,000 a month.
Despite everything that we've done to push carry out, we can't survive on food volume alone.
How long would you be able to stay in business?
I think not receiving any government funding, not much longer, to be honest. I'm really hoping that they open things back up on the 15th, this Friday. If they don't and we're unsuccessful getting any government funding,
It's not worth staying open.
I don't know how much longer we can make it.
As restaurants fight for survival, expect more ideas to expand their carry-out market.
Another thing that I've seen recently pop up more is restaurant subscriptions. So there are a few restaurants in Detroit right now that are sort of piloting these subscription services.
Subscription dining, that's restaurants trying to find a more consistent cash flow.
Meanwhile, Clawson's Three Cats restaurant has a concept, though not a subscription, to let you travel the world without leaving your house. Owner Mary Liz Curtin calls it Three Cats Will Taste You There. Sample regional menus from around the world, paired with recommended music and movie playlists.
Bonjour, mes amis.
And you can even get your virtual passport stamped.
It's something that you could do with your friends. You could do a Facebook watch party, watch the same movie together. You could have dinner in your house. I could have it in mine. We could all chat.
Toast to the gift.
First stop, France, and then on to California and Poland.
Every business I have spoken to, whether it's in Clawson or anywhere else, has discovered, as we have, things that we can do better, ways we can change our businesses to get through this time, all of which will have a positive impact later.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.